Right. Good morning, y'all. Plenty of folks already here. We love to see it. I am just waiting for Chloe. I just hit her up last night, sent her the invite. So we will be chilling till then. What are y'all up to, though? That's right, Neuroped's dad. You just celebrated your 25th wedding anniversary. We love to see it. We expect Dadvocate to be late. Damn. Damn, getting called out. Worst case scenario, if Chloe is like sleeping in or something, we will still do live reacts. We will be chilling and doing other stuff. Almost made it to work before you started. We're like half started. I'm here. Oh, snap. We got other folks from Calgary. Wow, why is my window open? I was wondering why it was extra bright, but I don't mind the extra sunlight this morning. Oh, just chilling like a champion. We're doing yes, Levi is here, so I won't get too out of control. Levi will be here to tell me to calm down. Vash is here to remind everybody to like the live. Thank goodness. Will you guys actually be doing a collab? I hope so. I hope so. I haven't heard from her this morning. I sent her the link. Last night she was like, yeah, 11 a.m. sounds good. But I haven't heard from her this morning. So we'll see. Grandparents are actually visiting your neck of the woods, Lake Michigan. Hell yeah, your grandparents have good taste.
Did she think it was 11 Calgary time?
I did say EST.
Okay.
I think she's in Calgary though, and when she's in Toronto, it's the same time.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Calgary though,
Calgary's
no.
closed, yeah.
Do you want to just like throw on a wig and pretend to be Chloe for a little bit?
No, I don't
We
think
could,
I'll do her justice.
I could paint some neck tattoos on your throat.
You could.
I am a Michigan gal. You know what? I'm gonna turn these off. I thought I wanted some extra lighting, but you know what? I'm gonna leave that one.
Yeah, that one's
that
good.
one's good. That one's good. Call her. Can I be alive while FaceTiming someone?
I don't know.
All right, what happened while I was gone? Did it just pause? The video froze? Okay. I tried to FaceTime her. I will admit we were literally, was it last night or 2 nights ago? It was 2 nights ago that we were FaceTiming. And I will admit she does have a mouse problem at the moment. It was like the funniest thing. I was crying laughing, but we're just yapping, and then all of a sudden she just starts screaming and panicking. And there are like 8 mice running around her backyard. She was like, I've never seen so many fucking mice in my life. So I don't know, maybe the mice got her. Hopefully not. Of all the things to take Roma out in this world, you would really hope it's not a gang of rodents. It's fucking Mickey and the gang. That's what I said. It was actually really funny because she was like, I might have to ask one of my neighbors if I can borrow their cat. And I was like, I don't know. In this political climate, that's going to look real suspicious. Oh, man. Best method is to Discord video chat and then push that through OBS with a window capture. You might be right. I just wanted to do it as simply as possible. But we might have lost Chloe. We might have like the biggest lie of a lie. Okay, what I might do is give it like 10 more minutes and then we'll just do Reddit stories. I don't know if I should rename the live or what at this point. Sorry, y'all. I tried to plan it. So much for my idea of staying a Haitian barbecue restaurant. Dude, what's so ridiculous too about this whole like they're eating cats and dog stuff is so far every video that someone has linked me to on Twitter showing like, oh, this is the proof that there's for reals Haitian immigrants eating cats and dogs, is it always ends up being like an American. Like, oh no, that's just another one of us eating cats, actually. Oh, hello to India. We love to see the international scope. I know y'all have been deceived. Okay. Well, shit. Do you guys want to do some Reddit stories? I can at least bring you in with TJ. We can force TJ to be part of this live. Neuropet's dad, you live near Springfield, so then you can obviously attest to the mass infiltration of voodoo practicing immigrants. SVR is voting for Reddit with TJ. Okay. Babe, what are you up to before you gotta head out of here? We have TJ for like an hour and a half before he has to leave for class, so he can fill in on Chloe's behalf. Maybe she thought I meant next Monday. Maybe I confused the shit out of her. Did you know there's a Springfield in every state? Everybody wants TJ to talk about anime. Look, he will do it too. He really will. Hey, TJ, you want to be Chloe? He said he's coming. He's coming. All right, I'm going to start pulling up some Reddit stories for us to react to. No, not hentai with TJ. I don't need to get banned from YouTube right now. All right, I'm still rebuilding my Facebook. I'm like in shadow ban hell on TikTok. I don't need to also get in trouble with the YouTube gods. Okay? Like let me just send this link to Emily and be like, "Look, you come in." Last minute. Okay. Let's see. I'll pull up this story. This story.
I was using the John. What's up?
Oh, we don't know if Chloe will be showing up. So I was
Okay.
wondering if you would like to fill in.
I can fill in for a little bit before I have to leave.
I know, I know. I said that you have to go to school. All right. Pull up some stories. Do you think I should switch over to desktop or should we stay
Yeah,
on
I switched to
mobile?
desktop just because you have your setup for desktop pretty good.
The only thing is, if Chloe does join, she can hop in
Oh, just hop on real easy like this.
anytime here.
All right. I'm just saying, like, oh, I guess you never really share the actual stories on screen.
Yeah. That dude, I would love to get Emily and Sarah. Me and Chloe have been talking about this of trying to get like a podcast on where like instead of a bunch of dudes around a round table, it's us. Bad News Badger, holy cow, thank you so much for the dono. Says radical opinion. The only reason to hold pets is to have a food source in troublesome times. That is a radical opinion because there's so many other great reasons. Like my daughter actually asked me the other day if I prefer, like if I would rather have a cat or a dog as a pet. And I said I prefer like the overall company of cats because they're more independent, but I need a dog because I'm 4'11". Does that make sense? Like cats are a lot easier, but dogs have a good designated purpose. However, yeah, it would probably be good to like just be in the habit of keeping chickens and stuff for food. Steve B, thank you for the dono. Also, congrats again on your amazing wins in the family court world. You should totally share that email with Roma. I tried to reach her channel too, but couldn't figure out the right email to do so. So I'd love her take on that insanity and El Paso in general. Yeah, if she shows up, might ask her opinion on some of your stories. My Akita keeps my place safe against men. I'm sure your Akita keeps you also heavily victimized as well. Akitas are sassy.
Yes, they are.
Akitas are sassy.
Smart.
Oh yeah, Michigan farm eggs. So good. I actually just ate the last of our local Michigan eggs, sadly. RIP those eggs. A mini penny. Ooh, you are stinky. Smell like smoke.
Oh.
Just burning things. All right. Oh, I'm so sad about this one. Wait. Let's see. Which one do I want to cover? I might have to change the angle on this so I can read these a little bit better. Sorry, you guys are flying through the sky here. Here, do you want to help me set this up? How does it look? How are we looking, y'all?
There we go.
Okay, beautiful. So we're still waiting for Chloe Roma. We arranged this 2 nights ago, confirmed it last night, but haven't heard from her. So I don't know. Hopefully she's okay and the mice did not get her. But it's me and TJ for now. We're chilling. All right. I want you guys to vote on which story we are going to cover first. Do you want the story where a man's ex-wife asks him to share custody of the children that she had with her affair partner? That's story number one. Do we want the story where a girl's sister slept with her fiance and she attempts to exact revenge? Or do we want the story where a man reacts to finding out that his girlfriend said she would leave him for someone taller? You get veto power here if there's one that you in particular.
Honestly, all of them sounded kind of fun. I've been reading the comments.
Okay. Is there anyone one vote for second, the third
Two
story?
and three seem to be
Two and
eking out.
three.
All right, two.
All right, let's do two. Let's do two.
Oh, now
Sister
three. Now we're
sleeping
getting a
with the
ton of
fiancé.
threes.
Oh, snap. The girlfriend saying she'd leave if taller. We got to do all of them now. Let's start with two. The sister who slept with the fiance, right? That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna jump into it. Again, Chloe might jump in anytime. If you happen to notice a notification from her like texting me,
Okay.
let me know. TJ's like my mod at this point. Okay. This is posted to Best of Redditor updates, so we should get some more updates, but it's also listed as inconclusive. The title reads, I found out my sister slept with my fiance, and I'm not sorry about what I did after. 30-year-old woman here. I have a sister who's just a year older than me. We've always had such a good relationship, so finding out about this one hurt. She might as well have just stabbed me in my heart. On top of that, I've been with my fiance since high school, and we've always been with each other through thick and thin. We were going to get married in a few months. I have no idea why on earth they did this to me. What's even worse was that our mom knew, and out of fear of getting involved, my sister apparently begged her not to say a word. She didn't tell me anything. All right, hold on, pause. Stop reading ahead. You always do this. He's the worst person to read these stories with. I have to like hide the screen from him because I'll be like, "So what do you think about that?" And he'll be like 4 paragraphs down, like, "Stay with us. You are doing no one any favors
All
setting
right,
light
we're on the
to
she
the
didn't tell me
future."
anything on the last thing we
Okay?
talked about. Yes,
I'm about to scold TJ. He's gonna get punished and not in the fun
we're on the
way.
second paragraph, right? The second sentence paragraph.
What would you do if it's obviously very difficult because we have two different gendered kids, but what would you do if one of your kids betrayed the other kid, but was like begging you, like, please don't say anything, let me just figure it out on my own? I'm curious.
I mean, they grown ass adults, man. I guess I give them like if I knew about it and I'm like, yeah, okay, but if you sit on this too long, I'm gonna tell them,
You
and
know what? I think that's a really fair compromise.
it's
Like,
like
I'm
you
not
figure
getting
out. Do you
involved
need me to help you figure
unless,
out what you're gonna say? But like I'm
yeah,
saying, I'm staying uninvolved unless you don't act on it. In which case, you should
yeah.
be the one to tell them, but I will be the one to tell them if I have to.
Yeah, I like the deadline idea. Oh, hey Jack, thank you for the dono. Please repost link to TJ's channel. Some in chat don't have it
Thanks.
yet. Yes. Um,
I was gonna say
I was gonna
I could
say, yeah,
jump on
hop into the
TikTok.
chat real
Yeah.
quick and no, we're not on TikTok. We're on YouTube.
YouTube Live. Sorry, I'm never used to doing YouTube Live on your phone. That's my bad.
What country are we in? Yeah, I don't know if we can really like blame the mom yet. Like the fear of getting involved is kind of valid. We come across the subject a lot whenever it's anybody who knows about an affair and what is their responsibility to the person getting cheated on, if any. And it's such a difficult situation to be in. Like when you're a person who knows about an affair, it's the worst because you're like, "God, I feel like I'm responsible now, like, I feel like I'm part of this crime,
Right,
and yet
exactly.
I feel like it's bullshit that it's now my responsibility to ruin your happiness."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like
that situation really sucks, and it's so much uglier here, but it's also, yeah, you would have to set a deadline to be a good parent because otherwise, like, what are you gonna do, let them
well, what it
marry
is
a
you're
cheater?
yeah, you're letting them you're putting it on the kids, your offspring, and you're like, hey, adult children, like this is on you to take care of, but it is also my duty as parent for this to be taken care of. So if you won't take care of it, I will take care of it. It's one of those like I will if I have to, but I don't want to if I don't gotta.
I love someone says hot take. If you know about the fairy, you have power over the fairy. It's excellent blackmail opportunity, actually. but should probably use your powers for good in that case. Okay, so anyway, this goes on. Thankfully, my dad wasn't having it, and he spilled the beans to me. And nice, dad just ratted on the sister. He's like, "Nope, I didn't raise no fucking cowardly cheater." I've never been so angry in my life. Not only did I kick my fiance out and throw out his stuff, some of it right in the trash, but I decided to hurt my sister in another way. Why not do the same for my fiance? Simple. She's my sister. We've always had a good relationship until she decided to ruin it months before my big day, which I allowed her to be a bridesmaid in. You don't do that to anyone, let alone your sister, your blood. My sister's big on gardening, so when she lost her dog, she made a garden for him. I knocked on her door. She didn't know that I knew. And of course, I played nice. I moved on to what she did with my fiance, and I slightly damaged her garden. I honestly just crushed a couple flowers. Am I sorry? No. Oh, that's it.
There's got to be more. Is there more? There
That's
has to be
it.
more.
I get that it's like it means a lot to her because her dog's buried there, but like if all you did was like it's like that video that we saw recently of the fight in the Panera. God, there's this viral video. Just Google Panera fight. And this guy starts like throwing things, and this the girl comes out of nowhere. She's so dainty and petite. She just has a large pan, and she just starts like lightly hitting the offender.
She's whacking her, but you can tell she can't. she can't like get enough, and it's like
It's like trying to punch in your
yeah,
dreams.
she's
Like you're just not
like
doing
it's
any
so
damage. And it's like I could, dude, if my sister like banged you, I would not be just like taking her flowers like,
like
like
what? There's got to be.
straight up
Please,
bleach.
let's keep
I
going.
would
There's
be
got to be
dumping
more.
bleach
Salt
all
the earth
over her
there.
garden,
Where
dude.
is
At
the
least.
where
Okay, we will continue.
her
Her
excuse?
excuse sent me over the edge.
She's fine, Miles.
It just happened isn't a reason.
Right?
Sleeping with my fiance just happened like that, I guess. I told her I didn't want her speaking to me anymore and that I also didn't want our mom to speak to me. My fiance won't say a word since I threatened to call the police if he ever went near me again.
Well,
Okay, that's a little dramatic.
what are you gonna say?
Yeah, he cheated on me. Like,
I
okay,
know
well,
what.
arrest him right now, ma'am.
Like you're dangerously close to admitting to your crime yourself, ma'am. Depending on how far you're willing to go with that. Like, what is there something you need to tell us that he's doing to you that you
Oh
would have to call the
man,
police for? But anyway,
she had
that's
me in the first half, and
you
now
have
I'm
me, and
like,
now the
so wait,
halftime show, I'm kind of like,
are you implying that you would make up a false allegation
yeah, I
to
don't
punish
know.
him for cheating on you? Because like, I hate cheating too.
Like they might take him away, but the minute they find out that he didn't actually do anything, they're gonna be like, "Okay, you're free to go." Like
Imagine going to jail for making false accusations
it's
because
kind of like
you got cheated on. Now you're the one in jail and you got cheated on.
yeah, it's like a nothing burger of a threat.
You could have just
Unless
had your
there's
life ruined
something
a
else
little.
legitimate, but I think we're getting lost in the weeds now because she doesn't dip on it again.
I'm not lost on
I'm
that
not
one.
lost
That's
on it, but
an
here
icky taste has been
it's a
left.
bad yeah okay that's definitely like a penalty on their side. So let's keep going.
Penalty.
Penalty, yellow flag.
She says, "Yeah, I made my sister cry and scream at me, but I genuinely feel like I should be the one crying. She knew how important getting married was to me, and now I can't experience that. I mean, at least not with him. Pair that with the fact that I had to hear this from my dad, not my bum excuse of a sister or fiance. Hell, even my own mother didn't say a word to me. It's like she lets my sister run her. Fair. Fuck you, Tia. Fuck you, Logan. If they ever see this, I'd be absolutely delighted." Edit. Since many people keep bringing this up, I'm upset that I lost the relationship I've always put 100% into. I was excited to get married, of course, but then this news came out. It really hurt me. I didn't want to believe it at first. I almost thought my dad was pulling my leg. That would be the worst prank ever, first of all.
Right, what a weird joke.
But again, this is what I always talk about. Whenever there's infidelity, people go straight to like delusion and denial. They will believe anything over that. Like people will literally like, okay, but you like just tripped and fell into her, right? Like you didn't do it on purpose. Like they'll believe anything but that. Later turned out to be true. I swear I have trust issues now. Yeah, probably. Edit 2. Thanks again for all the suggestions. It's helping me feel more confident in exposing them. I'm just a bundle of nerves right now because I know shit's going to hit the fan again. When I do, I'll try my best to come up with an update. I mean, it's the least y'all deserve. Last update, when I say I decided to hurt her, it's because I kind of ruined something so meaningful to her. I feel like for most people, besides on here, that would be a bit far. That's just how I feel, though. I understand it's not what you guys wanted. Clearly worked a bit, though, since she thought I was so damn psychotic for that. Like I said, I don't feel sorry about hurting her that way. Dude, she is like gaslighting herself so hard. All she did was like stomp on a few flowers. Flowers that like assuming if they live in any kind of even remotely four-season state will be dead soon anyway. But like she feels so bad about these damn flowers. Flowers that can easily grow back, that are extremely replaceable, and like your sister literally ruined your life. Like you're allowed to like be a little bit meaner about that. You ever just hear someone deal with something and they're like, I just feel like I'm being kind of mean. And you're like, you are not being anywhere near mean enough. You could definitely dial it up, actually. Okay. Update.
Oh, there's an update.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Great.
Hey everyone, seems like my other post has been deleted. Thanks again for the comments and support. I found out quite a bit. To start off, I did expose her and my ex on my story. Ooh, the
Oh,
story drama. I unblocked them both to tag them. Oh, snap. Unblocking just for the tag. It's getting real now. She's starting to find her voice. Shout out to one of the commenters who wrote down what I should say. I saved it and wrote it, but added some other words of my own. My ex actually blocked me after he saw my story. I sent my Reddit post to my sister after. Oh man, she's like, I want you to read
every
every
word.
comment, everything these people have to say about you. That's so savage, too. Just like, oh, you're going to read this. At the time, she didn't see it, but I got a call from my ex's mom. She was furious about everything, but she asked me how I was holding up and if I've heard the news. Oh god. You know it's bad when they ask if you've heard the news after you've already heard the news. Like, I'm sorry, I just found out that my sister literally boned my fiance. What other news could there possibly
I
be?
think we all know what the news is.
My heart sank a little because I honestly couldn't bear to hear any more bad news. I asked her what she was talking about, and she said, "So you haven't?" I said no and asked her to tell me. My sister's pregnant.
Come on, we all saw that one coming, right?
But it
That's
only happened one time. What are the odds? It just happened one
we
insy
we did the just
uh,
happened one time, and we have a little 7 years later result of that. Like
I'm
there
pretty
was
sure it
one
was
time where
more
we,
than just one time.
but we
That was the time that we decided to be as least responsible
that's what I'm
as we
saying.
had ever
That's what
been.
I'm saying.
These people, first of all, we know that they did not just hook up one time.
Well, no,
They probably hooked up numerous times, and then those numerous times they were never responsible. Dude, that's crazy. Raw dogging the sister too. What is going through these people's heads? Good dude, I would be vomiting. I think I would be throwing up
for sure,
all
dude. Oh, for
day
sure.
long if my sister became pregnant with my fiance's child. I would just be puking for days, endless regurgitation. If I could even eat, that would take me out, dude. Like I would just dig myself a hole and be like, someone bury me. Like, what the
All right,
hell, dude?
let's keep going with this one.
I'm
I'm in.
shook. Okay. Apparently, Logan told her in an attempt to make her chill out on my sister. Oh my God. Wait, you guys can't be mad at her. She's pregnant, guys. You can't be mad. Honestly, that's the only thing she could have happen to her to even remotely get her out of getting screamed at for all eternity. I didn't want to hear anymore, so I told her I needed to hang up the phone. Thankfully, she accepted because I literally burst into tears 2 seconds later. After 5 minutes of crying, my sister responded to my story and text with the Reddit post link. She was texting me in all caps, begging me to take it down. If I wasn't so upset, I would have laughed a little bit, but I just sat there watching her blow up my phone. I got even angrier when she said, "I'm coming over and I'm telling mom that you're spreading my business online." All right, you big baby. Still never responded though. I felt frozen. This
Dude,
is how you end up on Dateline.
this is like that's
You cannot be pregnant with my fiance's baby after he just cheated on me with you and then come to my house. Don't come to my house because I really am not trying to get in for a double homicide. I'm really not. So you really cannot be coming to my house right now.
yeah, exactly. Sorry, officer. The six-shot revolver just accidentally went off 14 times. I
Can't
don't know how it happened. It's exactly like
wait till mom hears about this. Dude, I that's what I'm saying. Like she really thinks that the mom is a weapon. Like the sister doesn't even care about the mom's opinion anymore.
is there any way to overlay the chat on the stream video when we're using
What do you mean?
someone was saying that
They can't see the
they
chat?
can't see the chat.
No, that's the crappy part about mobile, but I just set it up this way because that'd be easier to connect with Roma, but then she disappeared. She's missing. We gotta put on a bolo
A bolo.
on Chloe. She'll show up like 5 minutes before we're about to get off.
Yeah.
Okay. 30 minutes later, she's trying to break my door down. Oh God. So she wants to die. So I opened it in a fit of rage and I started screaming all kinds of shit at her. She kept screaming at me to take it down, and I told her that it's going to stay up for as long as I want it to. She kept telling me that she didn't deserve online hate. Oh, brother. And she even tried telling me that she's always been there for me through everything and that she would have forgiven me if it was the other way
That's so
around.
convenient.
That's insane, dude.
I
That's
just read the
exact.
next sentence. I'm
I've
sorry.
heard so many different versions of this. It's somewhere between those people who are like, well, if there was an attacker at my school, I would simply bum rush them and disarm them and save the day. It's somewhere between those guys and like the cheaters who are like, well, if you cheated on me, I would forgive you. Like, no, first of all, no, you wouldn't. But second of all, like, how will we ever be able to test this theory? Really, truly, like, okay, then when you get engaged, you simply allow me to bang your fiance, and
Right.
we do that until I get pregnant, and we that's the only way, is we just have each other's fiance's kids, and then we'll be even. Like, is that truly what you expect is gonna like resolve this? The Oh my god, this girl has done so many more things besides just sleeping with the fiance that are worthy of getting cold clock directly through the face. Like, I typically do not condone violence against women, especially pregnant women, but like, she's begging for a knuckle sandwich. She wants to be punched so bad. I said, "You have no idea what you've put me through, and I know you wouldn't have done the same thing if you were the victim." She kept crying and insulting me because all she's done was support me through everything, and I had the nerve. Oh God.
You skipped this
Oh,
very
I did.
important middle
I
part
did
right here.
skip that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Whew, at least I was like, wait a minute. Anyway, it's funny that I just said all that because
Yeah.
that's when I punched her. I don't blame anyone. I do not blame her. I would not be able to blame anyone in
No,
this
I
situation
think
for
she was
this.
asking for it.
That's, yeah, you have no control of your body at that point. It's like getting tickled. You're just flailing at that point. I punched her. A small part of me felt guilty. I'm not the fighting type, and that was probably evident in my last post. But she retaliated by saying, "It's not my fault Logan was tired of you, so you want another
Yeah,
one.
you want
So
another
you
one.
don't want another
You
one.
ready
How
for
many
seconds?
lumps do you want?" And that's when I told her I hope she ends up like her dog. The dog that's in the ground.
Mhm.
And that she deserves every bit of hate she's getting for ruining my relationship. I even apologized for not ruining her entire garden and her stupid face. Ah, I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
She's really coming into her own. I know I'm wrong for saying this. You're not. But the entire time she was playing the victim, she called me evil and told me to rot in hell and kept saying I was punishing her over a mistake.
Bye.
That's a mean thing to say about your baby. I said, "You have no idea what you've put me through, and I know you wouldn't have done the same thing if you were the victim." She kept crying and insulting me because all she's ever done was support me through everything, and I had the nerve to punch her in the face and allow strangers to bash her on the internet. I told her she deserved it, and I don't want her talking to me ever again. And if she comes near me, I'm calling the police. All right, she's got to stop with this though, because she doesn't have any right to call the police.
I guess you can. You can call the
You literally
police.
are the one who punched
You can
her.
call the police. You can call the police. You can say this lady's harassing me.
Like, I know you had the right to threaten with the police when she came to your door.
Hmm.
Now though, you're
You
just
could
kind
argue
of
she was
ripping on
she
her
was coming at the door
relationship.
aggressively, and so she felt the need to protect herself. Whatever state this in, it might be one of those,
Look,
like, she
me
had every right.
personally, I'm not going to be getting the police involved after I've just punched a pregnant woman in the face. Me personally, gentlemen watching, I don't recommend if you ever end up in your lives laying hands on a pregnant woman, I do not recommend getting police involved. Personally, I don't think that's the smart thing to do at that point, unless you yourself like prison food. But anyway, she kept saying I was being extremely unfair and that she was sorry in her texts, but I wasn't having it. I told her to tell mom I'm not talking to her again either. She asked me if I was really going to cut her off like that, and I just wished her good luck with her unwanted child and told her to go home. That was the last time she walked off my porch. Good luck with your unwanted child. Those are words that you never unhear.
Mhm.
Those are words that will just sit with you. Anyway, I had to clean up my favorite vase, but it doesn't even matter. Wow, I missed the part where the vase gets broken. At least they're out of my life. However, it's weird how sad I feel now. It's for my own good, but damn, I'll never experience the bond we had again. On the bright side, seems like I've dodged 2 bullets. Call this woman Trump. Thanks again, though, everyone, but I probably do need therapy. Last, I had to say that my dad called not too long ago asking me to take every post down because, according to my mother, my bitch sister is bawling her eyes out over mean people on the internet. As if I'm taking anything down. Dude, dad needs to lay off. This Reddit post is all she has left of her dignity, dude. She's had everything ripped apart from her in like a 1 week span. We can at least allow her one little internet dog pile as a
Right,
treat.
truly.
As a treat. My dad's pissed about her pregnancy, but my mom continues to defend her by saying we need to chill out on her a little bit. This is why I'm not talking to her. Thanks again, everyone. I'm exhausted. I need to worry about other things. There's another update. Sorry. All this yapping has got me yawning. I've officially decided to go low contact with my dad today. Dude, she's lost everyone in her family. Fiance, both parents, and sister over this so that 2 people could fuck. This girl lost her mom, her dad, her sister, and her future husband that she has been with since puberty.
Yeah.
So that 2 people could just happen. So one little event could just happen. Dude, this kid better cure cancer. That's all I can say. Surprisingly, he wasn't that upset about it. Dude, dad, are you kidding me?
I mean, it
Oh, well, at least I get my grandkid. Fuck this family. However, he's still on team take down the post, and that's why I made my decision. My mom wants nothing to do with me because if I wasn't going to respect the family, there's no point in trying to get to you. Wow, it's almost like that's what I wanted. My cousin and my ex's sister have been supporting me. Okay. Apparently, my sisters had meltdown after meltdown because more people are slowly finding out about the affair. Oh no, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. What? You mean people are mad at me for the affair I myself chose to have? Why can't you guys just get over it? Cameron, thank you again. This warrants a not enough the a hole.
mhm.
Yeah, a rare voting and yet very applicable here. She actually got into it with my cousin online, and according to my cousin, my sister keeps asking her to tell me to take down the post because she's sorry and she felt pressured into doing what she did.
Mm,
Sorry, you felt pressured into sleeping with your sister's fiance. Oh wow, so now you were coerced.
mhm.
Interesting. Man, everybody just wants to make accusations about against this guy. Last I even heard about my ex was from his sister. She told me that they did speak, and although he's not ready for a child, he doesn't feel comfortable leaving my pregnant sister on her own. He also wants me to stop what I'm doing, but oh well, they're made for each other. She says, I surprisingly felt a bit better. and still considering therapy, you definitely need therapy.
Yeah, really.
They hurt me, it's what they deserve. If they're not taking it well, that's their problem. Yeah, even though I'm against partner shaming, I don't think I'm against cheater shaming. If you especially if you end the relationship. If you stay with them, then, like, why are you bothering shaming them? You
Right.
chose to stay, so fix it, but, like, yeah, if your sister wants to bone your fiance, I'm kind of on board with the shaming. What do you guys think?
Truly, that's I'm sorry, my shoulders really started to hurt.
Sometimes you just gotta pop into a back bend real quick. Scumbag shaming is mostly okay.
Yeah, scumbag shaming is one hundo. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's like there's very few recourses in life after your fiance has cheated on you and impregnated your sister. A little tiny Reddit post where people agree that that's a fucked up thing to do is so much less damaging than what you, the cheaters, chose to inflict upon this poor woman.
Like,
She
yeah,
she deserves to do something.
strangers on the internet are being mean because you betrayed your sister.
It's completely unreasonable to say, "Hey, I know that I slept with your fiance and I'm literally pregnant with his child, but, like, people make mistakes. I think that we should all just move past this without ever telling anyone about it. Where you protect my secret and work overtime doing reputational PR for me, even though I have caused you the worst pain you've ever experienced." That's a completely unreasonable. Not even Jesus would tell his friends to do that. Even Jesus would be like, "You can leave the Reddit post up, Mary." Eh,
Leave it up, Mary.
you can leave it up. It's
You're the moderator.
cheating shaming needs to be encouraged. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Man, she has to now play auntie to a child she should have been the mother to.
She doesn't have to play auntie to anybody. She
That's
can cut
true.
them all out.
Fuck that kid.
Yeah, fuck that kid, dude.
not
Sorry, not like
not like
them,
that.
but like that
We
kid. You don't
mean
need to have anything to
abandon
do
and
with that
neglect
kid.
the child.
Yeah.
That's what we mean. We mean don't even touch the child. Don't even spit on it if it's on fire. That's what we mean.
Well, I don't know about that. But she doesn't like you don't have to show up for this kid's birthday. She doesn't have to feel beholden to like this kid just because it's like, well, it's your sister's child. It's like it's not just my sister's child. If you're gonna look at it so plainly, like, please tell me you have enough intelligence to look at things with a little bit more nuance than well, that's her niece. Why wouldn't or her nephew? Why wouldn't she want to?
If Chloe messaged me, she must still be asleep. But actually, that's a really good segue into our next story. Is the topic of um warranted resentment toward children.
Usually, no.
Usually, no. Yeah, but here's where it gets nuanced. We'll get into our next story, which is, and this is the best of Redditor updates. So we'll get the full story here.
Oh, is this one you were telling
Yeah.
me about? Okay.
I'm feeling a lot of anger toward my ex-wife's affair child after being asked to be his father figure.
Hold on. What do you mean even Jesus would shame them? Jesus shamed people so hard they killed him for it. To be fair, yeah, he did. He the going into the temple and whipping the shit out of the bankers
Someone
and
else brought
everybody
that
is
up too.
definitely one of my favorites.
That's amazing. Okay. You know, in a lot of ways, I usually have the ability. There we go. It's back. Oh, I'm getting a voicemail. Hold on. Okay. I was gonna say, where's the little notifications and things for? Okay. Let's see. All right. Still no notifications. All right. But yeah, I usually know how to take a compliment. In this case, it's like, wow, you want a kid that's not even mine to be fathered by me. That must mean you really appreciate me as a father. On the other hand, if you wanted me to be the father figure to your children, you could have not cheated on me while we were married. That's one way to secure that bag. And I feel like it's not too ridiculous to say that you lose access to certain privileges, like having a man father your children for you when you betray the covenant and sanctity of the union. Just a little tiny opinion that I have. This post says, this post is about me, a 39-year-old male, my ex wife, a 39-year-old female, our two sons, 7 and 9-year-old boys, and the affair my ex wife had that resulted in the end of our marriage, as well as a third child who we'll call Max, a 5-year-old. I've been thinking about posting something like this for a few days, and I have to admit that reading the recent post by another user is the thing that's pushed me to sit down and try to type this out. I think that what I want to talk about is parenting stuff, but I'm going to start by talking about the affair and dissolution of our relationship. My wife confessed to the affair about a week after telling me she was pregnant. So, a week I spent excited about what I thought was going to be my child. Turns out, no. It was an emotionally pretty traumatic time. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. She knew that the baby was probably not his. But I don't know, how could you really know? If you're sleeping with two people at once, very hard to say. I don't even know how she found out that it was or wasn't. I guess you can do paternity tests in the womb now. But dude, that's a really messed up thing to do, to be like, guess what? I'm pregnant. And when you're married, you take that to mean we're pregnant. There's no part of your brain that's like, oh no, that must be someone else's. It's so messed up that she let him be excited about that for a week before being like, about that pregnancy.
Yeah, I
Little detail I left out, dude.
yikes.
I might have been able to work through the infidelity, but made the ultimatum that she had to end the pregnancy. I've heard of this stuff too. I've heard of certain people who are like, okay, I can forgive you for the affair, but you can't keep the baby. And it's like, that's a shitty situation to be put in, but you kind of put yourself in that situation. Like, I don't necessarily blame the guy for setting that boundary.
No, yeah.
She doesn't have to say yes.
Yeah, right,
She
exactly.
certainly doesn't. I wouldn't blame her for choosing, the baby's life over the marriage. Like, I certainly would not.
Hmm.
But I don't think anybody's necessarily in the full wrong for setting that ultimatum. She was philosophically opposed to abortion, and I knew this. She stuck to her morals in that particular instance, and so I initiated a divorce. She has since married her affair partner. Man, that's gotta feel weird. Who's the second choice at that point? Whoever sticks around? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
You just add as many as you can in the roster, and
You get a
whoever you have
roster.
left is the monkey branching of it all. Regarding custody of our sons, there was a period of more conflict and resistance. I took the boys in the initial period of Max's infancy, and in the initial highly emotionally injured state I was in, I sought full permanent custody. But I wasn't likely to be successful, and I was eventually persuaded that, despite the breakdown of my relationship with her, that it's in my son's best interest to have the mother in their lives. Today, to the amazement of everyone else in my life, my ex and I remain co-parenting partners in the parenthood of our children. To be fair, I do agree he would be very unlikely to win sole custody.
Truly.
Typically, in most states, if you're married, they do try to do joint legal at the very least. And an affair is not enough to prove that you're unfit for custody. Usually, most judges don't care if someone has an affair, for better or for worse. For the last 2 years, we've shared week to week custody of our two sons. This upcoming school year, Max is going to be old enough to attend to the same school. About a month ago, I got sat down by my ex, her partner, and all three boys, and they all want Max to travel back and forth with the boys each week and effectively live with me 50% of the time. Seriously. There are admittedly some arguments for it. Three boys are friends and brothers, as much as I resent it. Splitting them up regularly does seem like a weird sibling dynamic that could have poor consequences. I'm angry with my ex for broaching the topic with the boys before me, but it's also an entirely reasonable thing for the boys to have an opinion on. I agreed. What was I supposed to say? No? Why not? I can't say because I hate that Max exists. So I said, okay. I mean, as far as the like, what am I supposed to say? Like, the same thing you say to any other kid at the end of a school day who's like, well, can I come home with you and
Right.
we do a sleepover tonight? Like,
Right.
no, because I'm not your parent.
Yeah.
It seems that easy to me. Like we have a blended family. You know, we have his son, my stepson, who we share with another family a mile away. We have our daughter, and they have their two siblings or their two other kids over there, and we have had the kids ask questions like, you know, our our kids other siblings have been like, oh, you guys should come on vacation with us and like stuff like that, you know. And it's, kids are so cute and innocent that if you were to position these things to them and say like, oh yeah, do you want us to come on vacation with you, of course they would be like, yes, come on vacation with us. But like, obviously, if their other family is now hearing us tell their kids, yeah, we can all go on vacation together before any of us have had the chance to talk about it, like, they would have a right to be like, I really wish you didn't give our kids this expectation that we could reasonably all go on vacation together. Like, they would have the right to feel a little uncomfortable with that. So, yeah, of course, if the three boys are told, like, would you like to go stay at your dad's for a week? They would be like, oh, that'd be so fun. We don't have to get separated. But it's like,
This, given the age, there's a strong possibility that the boys, even the 5-year-old, may have been like, "Man, I wish I could go with you guys."
yeah.
And so they might be like, "Well, let's go ask mom and dad." And
And mom
now
and
I
dad are like,
agree.
oh, we can have a whole week off, kid free, for
Now
us
I
to just do fuck
agree
all.
that they should have brought it up to him apart from the kids.
They should have never even let the kids think that it could be a possibility.
Right. Even if the kids brought it up first, they shouldn't have been like, that seems fun, but we'll talk to them first. They'll be like, that's something that the adults will have to figure out. That's the most they should have given them any an answer. But including them right there, it's like that to me is like, that does lean into the, well, what was I supposed to say? You brought the kids here. Even like, I'm not gonna tell a 5-year-old to his face like, fuck you, Max. It's like, no, he's especially in front of his two brothers, your kids, who you clearly adore. So it's
Yeah,
like,
and that's so messed up of them too. Like, that's nasty work that the parents didn't just sit him down to ask, but they brought the boys in almost as weapons to like break him down to agree. Now, I will add this detail. They don't add it until later, but I feel like it's really important to stress ahead of time. But they were willing to offer child support for the weeks that he has
do they
all
get to
three
that?
boys. They don't get to it early enough. To
Okay.
me, I think it's something that
They
he
should have
should have
included right
stressed
there.
immediately, because it does change the dynamic quite a bit. Because a lot of people get really lost in the sauce of like, hey, yo, what for free though? For free though? It wouldn't be for free. To be fair, he would be making money having this kid for what it's worth, for whatever it's worth. I don't know if that would ever, if there is such a thing as enough money to take, literally be the father figure for your ex's affair baby for half the year.
Here's my thing
For
though.
half
I
the
know, I
year.
know, but listen. First of all, here's the thing, and this is kind of like the tough reality that this guy kind of has to look at is, listen, bro, whether you like it or not, because she went with the oh man, I it's
And we don't.
he's never going to be rid of this kid. You're never going to be able until your kids are 18 and you're legally free of their responsibility, but you're still a parent, so you should keep them around in your life if you can. Like this kid now is part of your life for fucking ever. Like if she went and fucked up with some guy after the affair baby, and you would never have to see this kid because it would just be drop-offs with the two boys. But she went and married the affair partner. Now that circle is complete. So he's always going to be there because they've now established a relationship with the brothers.
And that
So
was probably going through his head when he like
exactly,
begrudgingly agreed to
that's what
that.
I'm
Like,
saying.
well, I'm gonna see him around enough anyway. Like, I might as well just keep the boys happy, make an extra buck.
Hey, that's the thing. If you're gonna make some money, and this is one of those moments, and I hate to call it an adult decision, but I mean that in the sense of like there's many times in our lives where we're like, there's what I want to do, and then there's a decision where I could take care of somebody who can't take care of themselves. And whether or not it's on the parents, like it's like you're helping your kids out as well as another kid, and it's one of those, this kid's always going to be there. So I may as well cultivate a good relationship with him. Again, I'm giving this guy a lot of credit, but it's also like, and I'm making some fucking money. And then it's also like your kids now have someone else they can play with. Is it another mouth to feed? Yes. But I got to tell you, man, if you're going and living the single guy life this kid is now your eternal wingman, whether he fucking knows it or not. Yeah. And Max over here, he's actually that affair baby I was talking about, but the boys love each other so much. They asked if they could spend time together. I'm like, yeah, why not? And they even offered to pay a little bit for the kids. And I'm like,
perspective. I love
I'm
that
just
you're viewing it
saying.
as like this could work for him.
This is one of those making lemonade out of lemons moments. Like this is
But on the flip coin, like on the
it
flip side,
sucks.
obviously all of this makes him look good. Like obviously, it already makes him look good that not only she but also he is like respects him so much that they're like, dude, you're the only one that we even want our kid around. But at the same time, on literally the exact same other side of that coin, as much as that's gonna make like him look and feel good, it would be really hard not to resent my ex even more just knowing that they have entire weeks of being like completely kid free. And it's like, yeah, so does he every other week, but that's because he kind of earned that, like that
Right.
in a way. But it's like you guys chose to make this third kid. You guys chose to make yourself full-time parents. That's not my responsibility to alleviate you of it just because you think it's unfair that I get a week off kid free every other.
But here's my thing. We're looking at this removing the kids' perspectives to where whether the parents thought of it or the kids thought of it, even if the parents thought of it, I don't think it was from the ooh, what if we got kid free? It was probably on the week that the
Any
two
reason
boys
would
are
make me
gone.
lose respect for them.
Dude, they don't have a lot of basic respect in the first. They're already can only go up. It's like we hit bedrock, baby. So it's like they can just go.
That's probably why they asked. They're like, you know what? He knows we.
And
ain't
it's one
shit
of those
anyway.
like
We might as well just keep being ain't shit parents.
exactly. It's like if the kid is that's the thing. If our love child is fucking miserable and they might already be seeing behavioral problems at 5 years old, if the house is split up and he doesn't have his two brothers there all the time, that could affect the kid. And it might be one of those things. Do you think he would be open to this? And this is if they brought it up. It could be something where the brothers were all like sitting in their room one night, like turning the flashlight on after the parents were gone. It's like, dude, it sucks. What if you came with us?
And that's another part of it too, is like there's nothing wrong with asking, but there's still more to the story.
Oh, definitely. There's definitely more to the story.
And that
then
could be where things change.
I might have to jettison mid-story.
Oh, fair. Okay, so he goes on to say, and he does hate Max. He says, I know he doesn't deserve to be hated, I know he's no more responsible for the circumstances of his conception than any of us, but knowing that doesn't seem to matter. He's a walking, talking reminder of all of the worst emotions that I've ever felt. I'm coming to the end of his second week staying with us and the boys. We have moved him into my home and made space for him. I hate the sound of his voice. If he needs help in the kitchen, I'm immediately annoyed with no good reason. I'm constantly angered by his limitations that are entirely in line with being a 5-year-old, things I would never get angry with my sons over. I'm short tempered and just energized with this useless, visceral anger.
But that's on you, my guy.
I think
I'm
he's aware
so
of that.
sorry. That's the thing, though, is it's like, I'm glad that he's living with it, but it's like, that is your job as an adult to take a breath and move past it, because this kid is helpless in your shadow. Like, whatever they can do things, like they can survive, they can eat, wipe their own ass. They're not going to do it well, but like you said, there's limitations, but they're going to be able to survive. But it's like,
I don't think he's wrong for feeling these
he's
things,
not
especially
wrong.
because he's so self-aware of it. Like, I think any of us, as much as we don't like to admit that could ever feel hatred toward a kid, not many of us know what it's like to literally like have to meet the affair baby.
And I
And
totally understand. That's what I'm saying. That
like
completed circle is what is. It's like, you kind of have to. The hard pill to swallow is, this kid's always going to be here now because of how they're connected to your kids.
I think he's just found his boundary.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the one story that we covered about the guy who thought that he wanted his girlfriend to dress sexy for his friends. But then once he actually saw the attention she was getting, he was like, can you
Could you
please
stop?
change? Like,
No.
like that's the kind of mistake you only make once. Like he found his limits and he's like, okay, now I know what I can't handle. Like I can handle the kid being around him at like my kids' soccer games and stuff.
Mhm.
But as it turns out, raising my ex-wife's affair baby is just a little bit more than I can handle, and that's okay. And that's okay. If you can't raise your ex-wife's affair baby, I'm not gonna judge you.
I have okay.
Shala says this kid is getting a Metal Gear.
I gotta play some.
backstory.
I've honestly never played any Metal Gear. My son would understand what
I
you're
missed
saying.
the part where he hides in a box.
I do. I've watched people play Metal Gear. I know how it plays. I just don't know all of the lore. But I love the Prinny reference. I do get that, dude. So I appreciate that.
Wide-eyed Fox says kids are like farts. You're always proud of your own, but can't stand other people's. that's that's great. That's a great analogy.
Everyone loves their own brand.
Okay. I feel like the last years of my life have been a carousel of humiliations and degradations. The only way I've been able to keep everything together is constantly repeating to myself that pragmatic argument that no matter how authentic my grievances are, and no matter how justified I am in my anger, it doesn't help me or my sons for me to devolve into an embittered rage hermit.
That's good.
This man is a poet. Just hold my tongue, breathe deep, and force myself to do the thing that will actually help. Masculinity.
Yeah, that is what positive masculinity looks like. For now, we'll see if he loses me in
Yeah.
the second half.
So I remain in regular contact with their mother, and I talk to her politely on the topics that I have to. Since recognizing that I don't have the legal power to exclude him from my son's lives, I have been cordial with Max's father. That I've been able to do these things has been the only thing about myself worth feeling good about.
Live in that for the moment, then, dude.
Yeah, he seems like a very self-aware.
Yeah, he's doing.
He's wrestling with some things, but like
Yep.
he's facing them. He's
Yeah.
not like stuffing them down inside of himself.
No.
But maybe it's not worth feeling good about it. Maybe I regret being civil. Maybe in Max's presence, that pragmatic argument is just not enough. It's like all the anger I've set aside through sheer force of will returns at once and possesses me while I have to talk to him. Dude, Max is immersive fat idiots.
Dude.
I'm sorry if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm probably just going to get myself in more trouble by even bringing that up. The Skyrim controversy. I thought I was doing the right thing, but if I had remained combative and negative, I never would have ended up in this position. Yeah, but things might have also been worse in other ways. Anyway,
I think so.
what do I do? I'm constantly thinking I want to back out, to say, nope, I can't do this. I'm sorry. But how could I justify that? Very easily, my guy. No one else in this situation will be happy with that. Stop putting other people before yourself.
He has children. Those are the ones he has to put before himself. He's not.
I know.
It's not even. Look, he brings them up
But
last.
look. When we take our kids to the store, we know they're going to be upset when we tell them they can't have a snack or a cookie or the toy they want from
This
the
is
toy
different.
aisle.
This is
We know
different.
that. Sometimes you have to break your kid's heart a little because you have to put yourself first. Okay? Sometimes you have to say no to what your kids want because you know that overall, even if the only person it will ultimately be better for is for yourself, you know that you can't pour from an empty cup for your kids. You know that if you are making yourself miserable, it will overall harm the kids.
But I think he needed to say no in the first place because now this kid is going to blame themselves for something that's not their
Oh
fault.
God. Yeah, he's gonna be putting the kids through it again.
Exactly.
Not
You
only are
said
they gonna blame themselves for
you
the
need-
divorce, now they're gonna be like, oh man, we must have not been playing quietly enough.
Yeah, or
We this
dad hates us now after all
Oh
this, or Max is going to be like, oh,
God.
I did this, especially a 5-year-old. Oh, he's making me leave after he let me come in. What did I do?
And they say there's no such thing as dad guilt. Dude, they're that one meme that's like, my favorite thing about mom guilt is the fact that there's no such thing as dad guilt. Like, she'll never be in this situation though. That woman will never be in this situation though, let me tell you.
We're almost done.
Okay, actually I think there's another update, but my oldest has told me, wait, the boys certainly don't understand why there would be a reason for them to be treated differently based on their parentage. My oldest has told me so explicitly in a moment that made me feel both proud of him and ashamed of my own anger. Their mother and her partner would be upset.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Part of me doesn't care and bitterly assumes they're just trying to get me, and bitterly assumes they're just trying to get some free time for themselves out of this. But I'm trying not to dwell on that. My ex makes good arguments that this is in the best interests of all of the children, but part of me just remembers how long she lied to me and how totally I trusted her in that time. It seems like the only thing to do is the same thing I've ever done: suck it up and get over myself and my anger. But if I do that, then I have to actually do that. Even if I'm being a responsible babysitter for Max right now, he deserves to live in a home where he is loved, not merely tolerated. Can I do that? Maybe I can't do that. I'm scared of a path forward where I can't work up the nerve to back out of this arrangement and co-sign myself and consign myself to getting over it. And then I actually don't get over it, but rather dwell even angrier with how my life has turned out and take it out on the undeserving around me.
All right. So here's my thing. I will look at it this way to where we can now turn it around instead of necessarily not just saying, you're blaming yourself, my guy. Here's the thing. Not if you don't get ahead of the story. If you can't handle it, you let your oldest know why. If your kids understand what the relationship is and why they're like that, then it's like let your mom and stepdad talk to you about.
How's he gonna tell his kid, like, I resent your brother?
He's gonna say your mother and stepfather really hurt me, and Max is and him being here is them not having to live with the situation that they created. That's what it is. Him not being here, you don't like how your kid is upset. You don't like how it's in the best interest of all the kids. You should have fucking thought of that before you took another man's goof juice and then married him and got like you
I think
built these
that
bonds and
I
you don't want to deal with the shit that comes out of them not getting to see their brother all the time. Guess what? You did that. You fucking
Yeah.
did that. You didn't want to break them up. You shouldn't have started a second family before the first one was even finished. Like, you get the mess because you were messy. You messy bitch.
Yeah, Steve B, thank you so much for the dono. Says very simply, sorry, kiddo, the problem is the adults.
I'm sorry, and it's like as an adult, a kid might, well, and especially as Max wouldn't understand this, but the oldest could be like, "I'm sorry that you guys are being hurt from decisions that the adults in your lives have made." A 9-year-old's going to be smart enough to understand what you're saying
I
without
also
being
think
like,
it's very simple and fair to say, like, I personally think that a child should mostly be raised by their own parents. Like, and I think even if he also stresses, like, I think it's really important for children to have both a mother figure and a father figure. And Max is very blessed to have both of those consistently
Yeah,
100% of the time in the home.
for sure.
In my home, I'm happy to be a strong father figure for you boys, but Max has his own father figure. And hopefully, maybe one day we'll have another mother figure in this home as well. But, I think it's very important because Max has different genetics from this man. I think that he'll have a lot more in common to be raised by his own father. I think that's the best way to be raised.
Sorry, I'm going to speed read ahead because I have to go, but you keep going so they can listen.
Okay, okay. Update. Hey everyone, it's been a few weeks. I guess I'm kind of in a spot to update now. So my post got a lot of feedback and it was pretty much unanimous. I heard from lots of people, parents and sons and daughters and blended families, people who'd been cheated on themselves, people who were Max in their own families, and you all told me what I should have been able to admit myself, that this was not normal and that no one had ever heard of an arrangement like this. That's a great question. Have you heard of anything like this? Ever. Have
No,
any of
no,
you?
I've never.
I never
This is like
have
the setup
either.
to a weird rom-com anime.
The closest thing that I can think of is that we have a friend who was the stepdad of a son who did have a dad. That dad has passed away, and so now even though he and the mother have divorced, the stepdad still takes both his biological daughter and his stepson even without having legally adopted him. So that's like the closest thing I can think of. And that even makes more sense because he at least was raising him, pretty much his whole life. All right. I resolved to end the arrangement and met with my ex wife and her partner to tell them a few days after I posted, midway through their custody week. Many people advised me to speak to my boys about it first, like my ex did to me, but I wanted to deliver the message before having to take Max again. I was thinking that it might be better to instead call them out on that behavior and try to get them to agree not to include the boys in that level of discussion before me. And then we could all sit down with the boys. The meeting did not go well. They were both pretty mad at me. I tried to prepare for it to be uncomfortable. I told myself just to be polite and firm, that I didn't owe them an explanation beyond, I'm sorry, it's just not working out. I guess he has made some career move based on the schedule that I was fucking up. In hindsight, I do feel sort of responsible for that frustration and that I regret agreeing to this arrangement in the first place. But I mean, it's only been 2 weeks. Like they were planning on him saying yes ahead of time. You don't just start a job like that quickly, dude. They knew he was going to say
Yeah,
yes and they started they
yeah.
probably were looking at this job when they asked him. They're
I'm
like,
sure they
"Well, what
were,
if we
dude.
just did this?" Like now it's getting
Dude,
sussy.
now that you say that, that's why they asked, and they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, do you think that he would take it, Max, for that time? And if we'll be able to afford to pay him child
And
support."
that's what I'm saying. And that's when they started weaponizing the boys. And that's when they started getting the boys all hype. And they're like, now he's not
Oh
going to be able to say no.
man.
Oh, this is nastier work than I originally thought, dude. But in the moment, I was really not giving a fuck about this man's work life balance. Then he said something about how I wasn't being fair, that they just wanted a fair custody arrangement. Week on, week off with your own damn kids sounds pretty
Yeah, yeah,
fair to
yeah.
me. That made me very mad. Thinking about this all to type it out has my heart hammering. I have some different opinions on fairness. I said some pretty shitty, regrettable things to both of them. I want to know specifically what they are. And then we were all screaming at each other for a while. I then stormed out and I didn't talk to the boys. I didn't get to talk to my boys for several days until handoff. They immediately were asking about why Max wasn't with them, and I prepared for it, held a more serious talk with them about, or held a more serious talk with them than I had up to this point. I talked about how it's great that they enjoy spending time with Max, but that I'm their father and that Max has his own father to spend time with. I also talked about how this whole spectacle of our lives is difficult for me, that I don't like having to spend only every other week with them, that their mother's decision to start another family with Max's father and Max still makes me sad. This is pretty awful. this is a pretty awfully difficult situation to talk about. I've been pretty strict with myself about not venting to my sons about their mother up until now, but effectively that's meant I haven't really talked about her or our breakup at all. If you can't say anything nice, as they say. This is like one of the hardest parts too about like split families, divorces, and stuff like that is that every parent involved, whether they're the one at fault or what, like you are pretty much all expected to say nothing and like not give your kid any sort of way. But it can be so difficult when you are the one who's just like straight up cheated on. It's so hard to not just say, like, well, your mom cheated on me, kids. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we had everything figured out and going good, and your mom decided to just be a complete 304. Like, you can't just say that to your kid. But there does reach a point, and I think everyone's lives, where you're also not going to tolerate any lies or assumptions to be made on your behalf. So, like, for example, TJ did such a great job of not involving his son in any discussions about like the parenting agreements, why they split up, why they weren't together anymore, anything like that, until we started kind of being asked like, well, why don't I spend more time here? Is it because you don't want me here? And then it's like, no.
Yeah.
No, like we're going to clear that up really quick. You are never not here because we don't want you here. That's when we had to make clear, like, actually, the reason that the time is so unequal is, because there's different rules with married mothers. And basically, it was like, yeah, your mom wants one schedule and we want one that's a little bit more 50-50, and we disagree. And so sometimes when that happens, you might have to go to court, present your cases to the judge, and then a judge decides what they think is fair. Like sometimes you have to have those harder conversations, and I don't think that any parent should be expected to just like have ridiculous lies, like to have to kind of play along with a narrative that's absolutely not true. Like no father should have to say like, oh yeah, this is what we both agreed on, if it's
Right.
not.
Right.
And so if like if these kids are being told like, oh yeah, we all just like agreed to split up and your dad wanted me to go live with Max's
Right.
dad, like
Exactly.
I don't think he should be expected to go along with that story. Anyway, she said, or he says, I think I actually did a good job navigating the conversation. My sons absorbed it easier than I expected. A few weeks later, and things with them are basically normal. I have had a few short conversations with my ex since our big embarrassing blow up. I sort of feel like I want her to apologize for this whole thing. Don't hold your breath, buddy. But also know that I'm not doing myself any favors waiting for that to happen. I think she remains upset with me, more for the things I said than the rejection of this arrangement with Max. Or maybe that's just projection because that's what I feel guilty for.
This guy is.
He's too self aware.
Yeah.
I also regret that the last time I spoke to Max was dropping him off before ending the arrangement. I don't know. I guess his mom just explained to him that she missed him too much to have him gone each week, but I don't know how sturdy that story will be. That's sad. It should be good enough, right? Only a mom who demonstrates behavior of not missing their kid would have a hard time selling that story.
Truly.
Dude, like if I told Saoirse I didn't miss you today, she would be like, "Stop lying." Like,
Right.
so, oh man, if he's doubting the sturdiness of that story, she must not be the best mom.
She might not be very affectionate.
Ugh. Rereading my last post has me feeling pretty shameful of how I talked about Max. I know he doesn't deserve my sustained ire and that he's not going anywhere, so I'll have to be able to adjust to his presence. I'm obviously holding on to a lot of anger that is really about my ex wife, but she isn't obligated to give a shit about that, and I'm obligated to interact with her politely. So I guess that anger just got set aside and then vented onto Max just because he was there in my face. But that was my own fault. So I sort of expect things will pretty much return to normal from here. Contact with my ex is curt right now, but that'll loosen up. Thanks to almost everyone who commented or reached out to me. I think that ended about as well as it could
It
have.
literally ended about as well as it could have. I cannot see it going any better than that because, like, it's so rare that we see a Reddit story like this on yours, or when I happen to read like,
I've never heard of one quite like this.
yeah, this is very self-aware in the sense of like, though I'm probably just feeling this, and it's very like, it's not making excuses for anybody. It's just, though I admit this emotion I was feeling was probably because of X, Y, or Z, and you're like, wow, that's it's very insightful.
What I've learned from the story is like this is potent positive masculinity. I don't know who raised this man, but they taught him the language for almost every emotion that you can feel. And because he was able to use that language to talk through it, and even like just venting kind of led him where he needed to go. Like this is one of those very rare moments in Reddit history where a person used the platform to work through something, then navigated the genuinely helpful pieces of advice to come to a reasonable conclusion. Am I sure that we're not just like tripping right now?
No,
Like,
no,
is there
he
a
did it.
gas leak in the house?
I
Like,
hope
is
not.
this real?
You see
Did
if the
this
animals
really
are asleep.
happen? I don't know, man. The animals aren't going to be a good litmus test right now because I just took them for a simple 0.7 mile walk, which with these couch hippos, like, takes them out.
Yeah, but you know,
They're now going to be dead for hours. He had very involved parents growing up. Yeah, I gotta say, like, this dude is gonna make such a good husband to the second wife. Like, I feel like this lady has probably already had multiple moments post affair of just being like, oh, I really blew it with this dude, you know? Like, she has to have. Let's really compare dudes. We have a self-aware king who is clearly so reliable that she's not only trusts like the kids she made with him, but she'll just trust any kid she makes with this man. Okay? Self-aware zaddy king versus dude who helps a woman have an affair on her husband, knew she was married, did not care, absolute scummy, sleazy behavior, who weaponizes children to get a job and does not care about spending half of the year without his son. Who's the better option? Let's really weigh this. Like, I have no pride or respect for this man when I've got men who are literally practically crying themselves to sleep every night in my inbox because they only see their kids 4 nights out of the month. But you, as a man who has the ability to be fully present in his son's life, are choosing to let another man raise your son for half the year? Not king shit. Not king behavior, dude. This lady blew it with an actual husband. This other guy, not husband material.
Not husband material. I love you.
I love you. Have fun at school.
thank you.
All right, everybody's saying
Bye. Thanks, guys.
still no word from Chloe.
Not yet.
Let's spy. Is she we're eyeing you. I'm gonna feel really bad when she has like a legitimate ass excuse. Yeah, I'll have to rename the live just Dadvocate Live, and we'll just pretend that I did not make a big announcement that I would be collaborating with one of the other biggest men's advocates on this platform. Whoops. Why does this keep happening to me? I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna be collaborating with Sean Brady. Sean never shows up. Hey guys, I'm gonna be collaborating with Chloe Roma. Roma never shows up. It's fine. It's fine. We've got one more story. One more for you. It was the other one that we said we were gonna go over. This is another best of Redditor updates, and this is concluded. So we do have the full story here. Overheard my girlfriend say she would leave me for someone taller. It's just a simple little thing. Every girl would be totally okay with it if they overheard their man say that he would leave her for someone with bigger tits. So, like, I'm sure it's just a totally normal, kosher thing to say. This is so awkward. Okay. My girlfriend and I have been dating for almost 3 years. Last night, she had some friends over after she finished work. I work from home, so I only left my office to be formal and say hello and then continued working. It was easy to hear the conversations they were having, even though my office is down the hall. I then heard my girlfriend mention that she would leave me for a taller man. Her friends made a comment on how I was a lot shorter than her ex boyfriend. My girlfriend responded, if only he was as tall as my ex, he'd be 10 times better. If I could find someone taller than him, I would. Is this instant breakup for you guys, or let her explain herself? Keep in mind we've got 3 years on the line here, okay? But I'll give you guys the rest of it. I guess I should mention my girlfriend is barely 4'11" in shoes. I'm 5'9". Okay, so how much taller do you need? He's about a foot taller than you. Dude, I'm 4'11". There is no need for me to date a man over 6 feet tall because at that point, he just looks like one of those water birds who has to like hinge at the hip just to kiss me. Like, what are we doing here? We're just depriving the Amazonian goddesses of their rightful men at that point. How much taller do you need? Good God. The issue isn't the height, but the fact that she would leave me for something so trivial. I talked to her about it since and said she didn't mean anything by it, just that she always dated taller men. She has since apologized multiple times. Is this a red flag of any kind of things to come, or is it just me overthinking? Nah, that would send me. That would send me. There's not much else that I can compare it to. Like I've never in my life heard a man be like, "Oh man, I would definitely date a girl shorter than Lauren if I could." Like cuz at that point that would be really creepy cuz they'd have to be in like the second grade to be much shorter than me. But like oh man, yeah, I think I would probably instantly break up with a guy if they were like, "Oh, I would date a girl with bigger tits if I could." Oh my god, they would never even survive. They would be canceled. A lot of you would leave her. Would any of you like give her another chance? Be like, "Okay, I see what you mean." Like, you know, maybe some girls would even be like, "I see what you mean. Like if I did have bigger boobs, like obviously that would be your preference, but I don't have bigger boobs and you're still happy with me." So like, no, I don't know. I'm not about to do that many mental gymnastics over here. It's pretty bad. All right, update. So I read all the comments on my last post, and even after breaking up with my girlfriend, I was doubting if I made the right decision. I wasn't going to update because I didn't see a reason to do it. But after the last couple days, I came to a final conclusion. I want to clarify that I broke up with my girlfriend because of how easy it was for her to disrespect me behind my back, not because of the actual height difference. I think it's a little bit of both for me. It's a little bit of both. After I broke up with her, she continued to apologize to me. She would send me letters and call me a lot. In one of the texts I actually responded to, she asked if we could meet up and talk. Without going into much detail, she wanted a second chance and overall sounded very remorseful. I was about to agree, but something she said made me realize I would be making a mistake if I did. She said, I'll remember to respect you from now on. That is one of those really, really stupid statements. Like, that's like being like a manager of a business and like you left everything unlocked and so the whole place got burglarized and then the next day you're like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry, but like I'll remember to lock up from now on." Motherfucker, you should have been locking up from the jump. What are you talking about? I'll try to remember to respect you. Oh, that's how you know you're cooked. The whole thing is cooked. Okay. That sentence made me realize I made the right choice by breaking up. Since when do you have to be reminded to have the bare minimum of respect for your partner? Either way, I'm glad I didn't give her a second chance. I don't know if any of you care at this point, but there's the update. On a side note, the other day I was hanging out with one of my female friends who happens to be taller, and I guess she saw us and started texting me that she doesn't need me. Started saying that my friend was a pig and that I moved on too fast. Blocked her and had a laugh. I know for a fact now that I made the right choice. That is so fucking funny and it's such a twist of events. So she wants to freak out and have this like superficial bullshit thing of being able to think that she can say behind his back, like, oh my God, he's like too short for me. I would so date someone taller if I could. I deserve someone taller. Then he dumps her and she simply sees him with someone taller and loses her mind. That is the irony of like saying you want someone taller and then getting dumped for someone taller, even though that's not what he did. It's a little tasty. I'm not gonna lie. There's something yummy about it. All right, we all need to calm down. Levi's trying to sleep. This is probably the worst channel if you're going for like ASMR though. Oh man. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I might leave it open for any questions if you guys had anything for me. I am so sorry that I like misguided you with a fake Roma stream. Um oops on that. I'll let you guys know when I do hear from her what ended up happening. Uh obviously I'm not the type of person who like just lies about collaborating with someone for no reason. I'm sure there's some kind of a freak accident, but I know I really did clickbait you guys on accident. I truly did not mean to. I tried to FaceTime her earlier. I texted her a few times this morning. I'm making the thumbnail now. And then she was like, yep, that's still good. And then, oops. Shala gets 6 foot tall GF. I understand what you wanted now. Honestly, and that's the funny thing too, is like they have actually proven this. They've done enough polls now where if you ask women, like, how tall do you prefer your man to be? Most women say 6 foot or taller. But when you ask men, like, is there any height cap at which a woman is like too tall for you? Men are like, no, they do not care. They will date shorter, they will date the same height, they will date taller than them. Men do not care at all about height the way that women do. Here, I need y'all to come with me on a journey because why is my cat freaking out right now? What? What are we doing? Why? You guys see this, right? The food is full. You have rotating flowing water. What are the tears? Why do we cry? Oh, you want to go outside. That's what you want. You stink. No, because you are an invasive species. Hold on, let's see this. Show, thank you. I guess you and Chloe missed this time, but let's see a collaboration ASAP. I know. Slightly a bummer. At least I showed up though. I did not blow it. I appeared, and Miles is here, and Catilia is here. This close to an upskirt, but we did not get there. All right. Well, I think I'm going to use the rest of this evening to maybe film a couple more shorts for you guys, a couple more YouTube videos, edit some things down. Um, I've also downloaded No Man's Sky. I know that you guys, I'm not like much of a gaming streamer, but if you guys would be interested in watching me get like mined by space, I'm thinking about playing that game next. Thinking about it. I will be live again tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have a lot of videos for us to react to. It's gonna be visual heavy, but as usual, I will still do my best to describe everything verbally to you, so you can still feel free to like work, go on a jog, meander around the house doing chores, which I'm probably gonna also do a little bit of. And I am so sorry again that we didn't get to see Chloe this time, but I will reschedule something. TJ is the truest collab partner. Yeah, at least we got TJ. Always a real one. And at least we got this guy. Who's your good boy? Hi, Lauren. Did you get to read all your emails? Yes, Gus, I did get yours. So I am still considering your topic. I gotta find the best way to broach your suggested topic in a way that will be YouTube friendly, you know? Someone wants some attention. So it's gonna be Miles' hour from here on out. But thank you guys so much for coming in to this live. Sorry for everybody that we disappointed through this failed collab. Oh, Freedom, thank you for another another collab, another dono. Oh my gosh. My life is the worst. I want to date a girl who's taller than me, but I'm 6'4". Why have I been cursed with this desire for an Amazonian? Dude, come on out to Grand Rapids. We have like a very big Dutch population. You can just come to Nellis's Dutch village and find you a gigantic ass blonde woman. We can do this. I'll be your wingman, Freedom Fiend. I got you. Okay, we will find you a nice tall cup of water to climb up. All right, me and Miles are about to get into it. Did you just put this on my foot? Okay, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Oh, like the live, like it. Look, there's 293 of you here. There's only 252 likes. So hit that a couple more times, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Okay, okay. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.